This is Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review with your championship weekend NFL preview. Sunday, January 22nd, AFC NFC Championship games. Who's going to be in the Super Bowl? We're going to determine that. Again, I'm battling the cold, but still, this is too important. Cold to me, be damned. We're getting this video done. We're giving you my thoughts and betting opinions on the championship games this Sunday. So let's get to it. Let's start with Green Bay, Atlanta NFC Championship game. Current line has Atlanta a 5.5 point home favorite. Total in the 60.5, 61 range. The number is fluctuating between sportsbooks, so make sure if you're going to look at this game, you end up shopping for the best available number in regards to the total. Let's be honest, this total is high for a reason. 60.5, 61. It is a big number, but it's justified. It's warranted. We're talking about two extremely explosive offenses going at it here in this football game. Look at the Green Bay Packers and the way Aaron Rodgers has played down the stretch. It's been absolutely phenomenal. 21-1 touchdown to interception ratio for Aaron Rodgers during the Packers' current 8-0 straight up, 7-1 against the spread surge in their last 8 games. And the way he played last week against Dallas without Jordy Nelson on the field was simply sensational. Didn't matter if he was without him. They were still able to find Davante Adams, still able to find Randall Cobb, still able to find Geronimo Allison, who made some nice plays in that game as well. Jared Cook with the tight end had just an incredible catch down the sideline, getting 2 feet down. Unbelievable job by Rodgers to get the football accurately to him on the run, setting up that Mason Crosby game-winning field goal to put Green Bay here in this NFC title game. And Atlanta's defense, to me, and I mentioned this last week, it's improved. There's no doubt Falcons' defense better than it was early in the season, but I still have some concerns about whether they can stop Green Bay. And I know Green Bay does have questions about Davante Adams' health, Geronimo Allison's health. Both of those guys have been not practicing this week, but come on, this is the NFC Championship game. It's one of those situations where I would absolutely expect them to play. If it was the regular season, maybe you worry a little bit that these guys may not play in the football game. This is Championship Sunday. I fully expect we're going to see all hands on deck. If Davante Adams and Allison are good enough to play, I'd expect to see them. I think Atlanta's still in tough to stop Green Bay. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, to me, you could almost put anybody on the football field with him right now. He's going to be able to find them down the field and make plays, throwing the football. That is how locked in, that is how geared up he is right now, and how just at an extremely high level he's playing at. There's no one, I think, that is better at breaking the pocket and throwing the ball as crisply, sharply, and accurately, rolling outside of the pocket than Aaron Rodgers right now. And that's a problem for Atlanta. Atlanta's pass rush has been suspect. It's been hit or miss. And I don't know if I trust that pass rush to get to Aaron Rodgers enough to throw him off of his game. So I think Green Bay's putting up points in this game. But the thing is, you talk about if there was an over-under for punts on the Atlanta side, the Atlanta offense, the flip side of this matchup, I'd set the over-under at 1.5. I really would. And I think it's got a chance to be under 1.5 punts for Atlanta in this game. This Green Bay defense is decimated in the worst position it can be decimated when you're facing Matt Ryan and this Atlanta offense. That's in the secondary. Demarius Randall, Quentin Rollins, Sam Shields has been out for a while. This is a decimated injury-riddled secondary for the Packers. We saw it on display last week. Big plays made by Dak Prescott to Des Bryant for that big touchdown throw he had in that game. They could not stop the passing game. Tons of pass interference penalties down the stretch as well for Green Bay last week, even though they hung on to win. That defense, now you got to go up against Matt Ryan, who's got Julio Jones, who's got Taylor Gabriel, who's got Hooper emerging as a tight end, who's got just tremendous weapons to throw the football to up and down that field. How about Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman out of the backfield? Not only can run, but they're catch the ball out of the backfield. This Atlanta team to me right now reminds me of Kurt Warner, the Rams back in the day, the greatest show on turf. They just are unstoppable right now. And this undermanned, struggling defense for Green Bay, especially in the secondary, going to have a tough time. Let's not forget, these teams played in the regular season a 33-32 game, 65 points scored. Atlanta sneaking out the victory in that football game. Morgan Burnett. I didn't even mention Morgan Burnett. Totally forgot about him. Safety for the Packers. Left the game last week due to injury. He may not even play. So this secondary is just in a world of hurt from an injury standpoint. I don't trust them to hold up. I don't trust them to get hardly any stops, to be honest with you, against this Atlanta team, which hung, 36 points, 37 points last week against the Seattle Seahawks in that playoff win. Decent Seattle defense. I think Green Bay is going to be even tougher here to get stops on Atlanta. I will not bet against Green Bay in this price range the way Aaron Rodgers is playing. They're 8-0 straight up, 7-1 ATS their last 8 games. But at the same time, I really do have fears for this Green Bay defense. Fears that will keep me off the Green Bay side, but fears that will put me on the total for this game. And we will get back to that, by the way, for the video best bet at the end of this video. I think you already know where I'm heading, but that'll be the video best bet. We'll get back to it at the end of the video. Let's move on to the AFC Championship. Pittsburgh, New England. What a matchup this should be. 2 stalwart veteran quarterbacks, Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady. New England 6-point home favorite. Total in this game 50-50.5. And I will tell you this, New England laying less than a field goal at home. It's one of those situations where I think it's a tough matchup for. It's going to be not be an easy matchup for the Pittsburgh Steelers, that's for sure. But there are some things working in the Steelers' favor. Steelers. We used them as play of the day 2 weeks ago when they beat Miami, or video best bet. We cashed with them as a video best bet in the divisional round last week when they beat Kansas City. And you could look at that game 2 ways. You could look at it, they're very fortunate to win that game with all the missed opportunities in the red zone and all the times they had to settle for field goals. You're very fortunate when you don't score a damn touchdown in a game and you still win. That was Pittsburgh last week in Kansas City. They're not going to get away with that again here. They're going to have to do a better job executing in the red zone, turning those possessions into touchdowns. That's going to have to be something that's very important here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. If they're going to win this football game, they've got to do a much better job in the red zone. They're peaking at the right time, though. 9-0 straight up, 7-1-1 against the spread their last 9 games. And Pittsburgh's defensive numbers don't look great on paper, but the full season stats aren't reflective of the way this team's playing defense right now. And they're not reflective of how different and improved the defense has been since Bud Dupree and James Harrison have been on the field together in that linebacking core. And you pair them with Ryan Shazier, and all of a sudden this linebacking core is maybe the best remaining group of linebackers in these NFL playoffs. The secondary is young, but it's improved gradually. They've started to make some plays back there in the pass defense. Not going to be easy. They're going to have to get pressure on Tom Brady. That's easier said than done. Pittsburgh, sometimes from a pass rushing standpoint, not the greatest, although they have done a little bit of a better job recently getting some pressure on opposing quarterbacks. That's the key thing. But I think the number one under the radar handicapping factor for this game, and it's why I would lean to the Pittsburgh side in this game, New England's strength of schedule has to be a concern for them going into this game. They were the 32nd worst or easiest strength of schedule in the NFL this season. Wasn't very good, that's for sure. And then you look at, and this Patriots defense, it'll say they've only given up less than 16 points per game on the season. Look at who the New England defense has faced in terms of opposing quarterbacks and opposing offenses this season. They went up against Carson Palmer, down season for him in that Arizona offense. Ryan Tannehill, mediocre at best. Brock Osweiler, we know what he's about. Tyrod Taylor, again, up and down, inconsistent. Cody Kessler and Charlie Whitehurst in that game against the Browns. 2 quarterbacks that, those are easy assignments as far as I'm concerned. Andy Dalton, down year from him. Solid quarterback, but a down year. Colin Kaepernick, a disaster. Ryan Fitzpatrick, a disgrace. Jared Goff. When they faced Jared Goff, when he was a rookie quarterback, making, I think, one of his first or second road start when he played in New England in that game. So that was an easy task for the New England defense. Joe Flacco. Okay, finally someone decent, and Flacco had a good game when Baltimore faced New England, even though New England won. Trevor Siemian. Again, an up and down year. Bryce Petty, barely ever played for the Jets prior to this season, so you can't take anything from that performance. Matt Moore in the final game. Oh, and when they played Pittsburgh, New England during the regular season, who was their quarterback? Oh, Landry Jones. Not Big Ben. Big Ben was injured that week. Landry Jones was the quarterback for Pittsburgh. The best quarterback New England's defense faced all season long, Russell Wilson of the Seattle Seahawks, and he only had the 14th best quarterback rating in the NFL this year, and that was still the best quarterback that New England faced, and Wilson carved up the Patriots in Foxborough on that Sunday night game, 348 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions for Russell Wilson in that game against New England. Now they got to face Ben Roethlisberger, 11th in the NFL in quarterback rating. They'll be the best quarterback, best offense I think New England's played this season. I know their defense has been good on paper. They've given you no reason to doubt them, but you look at that schedule and you dig deep, and you see the opponents and the quarterbacks and the offenses and the mediocrity that they've faced in terms of opposing offensive football teams. And boy, you really start to wonder if this New England defense is a little overrated. I think they are, just slightly, in this football game. They're going to be in for it against Ben. Le'Veon Bell, one of the best running backs in the game now. So patient. I mean, what a tremendous running style. He just waits, looks for a hole to open up, and then finds it. I think it's going to be a good test for this New England defense, and it's worth noting New England, you know, in their last 7 AFC title games, just 1-6 against the spread. Not been great. I was hoping for maybe a 7 with Pittsburgh. That would be phenomenal if I can get a +7. I don't think I will, but at the current number, even at the current number, could only look to the Steelers. They've been good to me. I've cashed 2 weeks in a row with them, and I would lean in their direction here, taking on this New England Patriots team in the AFC Championship game. With all due respect to the hoodie, Belichick, Brady, and that mystique, and Foxborough, I understand all of that. This Pittsburgh team is going to be a handful for them, and I think they give the Patriots everything they can handle. All right, let's go. Play or video best bet for NFL Championship Sunday. We're back to the Packers-Falcons game. Let's give you a few technical things. We talked about the matchup. I don't expect many stops, maybe combined 2 or 3 stops combined between the two teams in this football game defensively. They played 33-32 in the regular season meeting, 65 points. Here's some technical angles for you, for those people that like this part of betting and handicapping. The last 12 NFL games that have had a total of 57.5 or higher, 10-2 to the over. 10-2 to the over. Last 12 NFL games with a total of 57.5 or higher. The last 6 conference championship games played indoors in a dome stadium since 2001. All 6 games have gone over the total. This total is high, 60.5, but to me, it may not be high enough. I had Packers-Cowboys over last week, and I think this game gets over the total. Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear it. Call me Ian Square. I'm not Ian Cameron anymore. Call me Ian Public. I understand every public bettor in the world is going to love the over in this game. I don't give a shit. I think it's the right side. I don't see these two defenses getting any stops here. Let's go ahead and make it official. Video best bet for Conference Championship NFL Sunday. Green Bay, Atlanta, over 60.5, rotation number 312. I expect a massive, epic shootout. Packers and Falcons, over 60.5 in this game. Don't forget, Atlanta, number 1 in the NFL in yards per play, in yards per pass attempt. Almost 9 yards per pass attempt they've averaged this season. Incredible numbers. There's going to be big plays in bunches. That's good for over-bettors. If a lot of these teams are used to scoring in quick succession, 2-3 minute drives, and bang, they're putting points on the board. That's good for over-bettors. I expect this to be a wild one in the Georgia Dome. And don't forget the over 9-0 at the Georgia Dome this season. I think it goes to 10-0. Packers, Falcons, over 60.5. Your video best bet for Championship Sunday in NFL action. All right, that will do it. I made it through this video despite my cold. Now it's time to get some NyQuil, Dayquil, Neocitrin, Robitussin, Buckley's, whatever the fuck it's going to take to get this cold out of my system. Hopefully I'll be ready to be feeling better in the next couple of days. Enjoy NFL Championship Sunday. All the best to you with your bets. I'm Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SPR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.